on the first one, she mentioned that about the safety issue, that 50 more shut-off valves will be placed 20 miles away from the pipeline to ensure the safety or whatever, because there's been cases of spills and the shut-off valves in the past didn't work. But I have evidence done by the Cornell Global Labor Institute saying that in 2010, pipeline spills and explosions in the U.S. killed 22 people, released more than 170,000 barrels of petroleum, and caused $1 billion in damage. The history of other pipelines indicates that spills from the KXL are inevitable. Over 30 spills have occurred within the Keystone pipeline just in Phase 1 and Phase 2. In its first year of operation in Canada and the United States. So, according to the State Department, FEIS Keystone has experienced 14 leaks on U.S. territory in just its first year of operation. This is despite the fact that the Keystone pipeline was described as meeting or exceeding world-class safety and environmental standards. So, in turn, even though they'd be adding 50 more shut-off valves, it still wouldn't prevent the spills because they're inevitable. It's going to happen. Like, it's not going to be perfect, and there's going to be safety issues still involved. And also, I wanted to mention that the Keystone pipeline, it's going to discourage the use of safer oils. And a study done by the Natural Resources Defense Council, they found that Department of Energy data shows that the refineries on Texas Gulf Coast are processing lighter crudes than they have in more than a decade. They are also operating closer to their maximum capacity than they have in years. If the Keystone XL is approved, tar sands crude is likely to displace crudes that are significantly less carbon intensive. So, being that said, it just shows how it's going to affect the environment in a negative way, increasing the greenhouse gases and displacing the use of safer oils and things with this tar sand crude that negatively affects our environment. And also she mentioned the fact about the 7 million jobs in labor. Once again, I want to make the statement that that's misleading. TransCanada claimed that KXL is a $7 billion stimulus to the U.S. economy. It is misleading on 3 levels. First, $1.6 billion will be spent on the Canadian portion of the pipeline, drawing largely on Canadian material and labor inputs. Second, at least $1.8 billion of the $7 billion has already been spent, mostly on design, permitting, and material inputs. Third, in addition, the $1.8 billion already spent, another $1.3 billion of KXL costs has already been committed. These committed costs may be incurred regardless of whether the project is actually constructed. Money already spent in the past few years, plus money budgeted for the Canadian part of the KXL, should not be presented as though it were part of the future U.S.-related spending pending the approval of the project. And the money is gone and work has been done, or soon will be. This spending will lead to few, if any, jobs in the U.S. Likewise, some, possibly all of the money committed but not yet spent will be spent even if KXL is not built, and should therefore not be considered in their analysis of the incremental spending that will occur should the project be approved. So, in their statements about it increasing the economies and boosting the economy, that's very misleading, based on like billions of dollars, and it's misleading that it will have jobs in the U.S. when it will actually have it won't have a good amount of jobs in the U.S. And they'll only be temporary.